Welcome to ComSci 360, the ultimate virtual summit for MS and computer science in the UK. This two-day summit will give you a 360-degree view around everything related to MS and computer science in the UK, with subject knowledge experts and student mentors from top universities. Before we hear from the expert, we want to walk you through the ComSci community on the Nebula platform, a dedicated space for you to connect with other attendees and build lasting relationships with fellow computer science enthusiasts. Throughout this summit, you will interact with a number of subject knowledge experts, and if you wish to get a personalized one-on-one mentorship session or get your queries addressed, you can book a slot with them by visiting their Nebula profile. We believe that this session will enhance your learning experience and help you achieve your study abroad goals. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope you enjoy the summit. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final session here at ComSci 360 on the track SOPs and LORs. My name is Sarah. I'm an in-house language trainer, and I will be your host for this session. Before we get into our session, I would just like to give you a quick brief introduction of Nebula, ComSci 360, and also a brief as to how this session will work. All right, so Nebula is a platform for students by students who are aspiring to study and work abroad. Nebula also provides guidance from scholars, alumni, or professionals, and the resources to break barriers of fear and other challenges to survive in a foreign land. Now, ComSci 360 is a summit organized by Nebula to help students aspiring to study MS in computer science programs in the UK. And what we aim to do is to provide all of you here today the knowledge and resources you need to make informed decisions about your education and your career. Just a little bit about the session and how it will work. Please ensure that you are sitting in an area with undisturbed internet connection. And also for this session to be an interactive one, you can use the audience chat, which you will find on your right-hand side, to communicate your questions, responses, or if you're facing any technical difficulties. Also, towards the end of the session, there will be a time for Q&A, so you can also post your questions in the audience chat during that time as well. Feel free to also post your questions while the session is going on, and we should get to them by the end of the session. All right, without further ado, let me introduce our speaker for today. We have Mr. Vinayak Mohitkar. Vinayak is an MSc in data science student at the University of Nottingham. And today, he will be taking us through and sharing his valuable insights on the application process and sharing his strategies for success. Keep your questions ready on anything related to SOPs and LORs for the MSc programs in the UK. Thank you so much for joining us today, Vinayak. Good morning. I'm going to hand it over to you. Could you please tell us a little bit more about yourself, a little bit more about the program you're pursuing, and about your uni life so far?
Yeah, hi Sarah. Thank you for the warm welcome. I'm actually doing my master's in data science, as you all know. I have got an admit in the September 2022 intake. I came here on September 8th of September to the UK. I'm based out of Nottingham only because my uni is in Nottingham. Uh, Also, yes, today I'll be very happy to discuss about SOPs, LORs, how did I pursue this, how my course is going. Yeah, we can all chat and talk a lot about all these things. So I'm sure Sarah we might have a to and fro session about, she might have prepared some questions for me. So yes, I'm
For
excited for
sure.
this.
Amazing. We're so happy to have you here today. Maybe we can start by just you giving us a little brief about your journey and your uni life so far.
Okay, so it's been around 5 months approximately for me, being in University of Nottingham. So the campus life, everything is really nice. I'm enjoying the course here, the study. I selected this university on the basis of the subjects which I saw on the website. There were a few plus minuses to the thing which I actually came here for. I came here for data science, and I didn't want to study a lot of maths, but after coming here I understood that I have to complete three compulsory modules in mathematics, which are core mathematics. But yes, you get to select your own subjects, so there is no compulsory subject in data science. and you have the liberty to choose all your 120 credits of pre-studied taught material on your own, and then you also have a 60 credit dissertation. So for me, until now, a selection of these subjects has been a plus challenge, but yes, I was able to do it properly. And now I'm in my second semester. I've completed my first semester. My first semester results are also out. I'm doing well in all of those three modules. For my second semester, we are I'm doing the second assignment now. So yeah, it's really it's been an up and down journey. Staying here, living costs, all those managing that. So yes.
Well, it's fantastic to hear that your journey so far at uni is going quite well, actually, despite the ups and downs as it is, it's always there. And I just want to say I can completely relate to you when you were speaking about the subject of taking math. That's actually quite, it was quite fun to hear that. All right, so let's just get right into the session then. So now some of you may know what SOPs and LORs are, but for those of you who may not know or may not have so much of an idea, or these abbreviations are confusing you, Vinayak, would you mind just elaborating on what exactly a statement of purpose is and a letter of recommendation? What are those, especially with regards to applying for an MSc program at UK universities?
Okay, so SOPs are basically stating your statement of purpose. It can be called as your technical life journey or your life journey towards pursuing Masters of Science. You don't have to exactly jot down your entire life journey, whatever you have done from a basic certificate to your bachelor's or the degree, undergrad degree, whichever you have got. So I'm talking in perspective of only masters. I have I'll not go to the bachelor's part, but yes. So this thing for SOP, I'll start with SOP. SOP goes with your capabilities, your interests, your liking towards the area of or the field, whatever you're trying to pursue your MSc in. It can also differ with uh, management and for science streams. For management, you'll have to show a lot of leadership qualities. You'll have to show a lot of things which you are able for a lot of things which you're good in, like extracurricular, co-curricular activities, all that. For data science, computer science, or a science field, you'll have to show more about your technical capabilities, your uh, like I said, liking the subject. When did it start? How did you? What is your journey? What have you done in that subject? How are you planning to achieve the master's goal? And a brief about what you think about after completing the master's course. Yeah.
Right.
So it's
Perfect. Thank
basically a jot the down journey of you in technical terms. From let's say I started writing. I'll give an example. I started writing my SOP from when I was in around ninth grade or something like that. I was interested in computers. From that, I went on to taking up computers in my 11th, 12th. Then I took up computer science and engineering, and from that you might mention a few projects which are really capstone and which you have worked on. Then you should go towards then I went to my a bit of my work experience thing. I wrote about that, and then yes, after that I wrote about a last paragraph about what my future career dreams are, or our future career prospects are. Should also brief for
Wow.
LORs.
Yeah, sure. Please,
Yeah, so
any
letter of
insights you can give
recommendation.
us will be helpful.
Yes. So letter of recommendations for me was I since I had 3 years of working experience, I got two from my manager and my director at Deloitte. But one LOR I got from this thing, from my professor. So if you are going after a work experience, make sure that you get at least one LOR from your manager or a partner in your firm, or or a director in your firm, which will be really good for your thing, because they've seen you work 8 hours a day. Your professor has only seen you work throughout the semester, and maximum of one lecture. You, if you might have done a project or something with the professor, then it will be really good for you. If you have done something under him, then yes, that letter of recommendation from a professor will help you. But again, you should make sure that the LOR, whoever is giving the LOR, is more than capable to do it, because he should at least have a PhD, or at least hold a good position in a company. Yeah.
Absolutely,
I'll talk more about
absolutely.
LORs and SOPs in detail later.
Yes, absolutely. And we're so eager to hear from you as to what else you have to say about this. Now, everybody, I don't know if you heard, this is the point that I took out of this. Vinayak had been preparing for his SOP since standard 9, right? I got that right, right? And 9,
Actually,
10, yes.
I didn't prepare from standard ninth. I
Or
was
you're
like, I
thinking about
prepared
it,
for my
right?
engineering, but I
Uh-huh.
mentioned about my journey from standard ninth. So yeah.
From standard 9. Okay, right, right. So he's got all that experience and what led him to do what he wanted to do. So that's what he included in his SOPs, and that's fantastic, right? So I think the next question that comes to my mind is actually, why is it important to have a strong SOP and LOR in the admissions process? Could you please
Yes.
tell us a little bit?
So it's really important to have a strong SOP, because it's the only criteria on which SOP and LOR, basically, because it's these two are the only criteria on which you are judged. Okay, so your marks and all can be plus or minuses. You can be a low scoring student, or you can be a very high scoring student, but at the end, when I came here, it's like you have ended up in the same university. Even I had got admits to other universities after I took an admission here. So yes, SOPs and LORs are the most important things, more than your marks. uh, because it shows the university who, what kind of a person you are, and what kind of career, or what kind of challenges you have faced until now. The degree will only show you how much have you studied and how much have you scored in your subjects, or a mark sheet will only tell you that. But SOPs is basically you portraying yourself, whatever you are capable of, or whatever you are doing, and whatever you want to do ahead, whatever you have done in the relevant field. And LOR is a proof of that, saying that this person has done so and so, so and so, so and so in my company. And then after getting your LOR, you can just mix and match them a bit. You can add a few points from here and there. And yes, actually you'll get to know a lot of surprises when you get an LOR from someone, that yeah, I'm good at this and I didn't even know, and I should show it as a major skill or something. So yes, these things are really important for you as well, and for taking an admit in the university.
Great. That's great to know. Now, that being said, how important is it to tailor your LOR request to the specific program you're applying for in order to stand out?
Yes, to tailor it, there is the specific thing which you can do is, you need to ask the person, or your manager or director, whoever it is, to give you the LOR in terms of what is relevant to your field. Okay, if I'm going for a computer science degree, I can't ask for an LOR stating that I am very good at people management in the office. I'm good at doing fests in my college. That can't be your highlight point of your LOR. Obviously it can be there in your LOR, but your LOR should obviously contain, if you're going for data science, for my case, what you have to do is you have to state your technical capabilities first, stating that this guy has worked in so and so many projects which were related to these. Also involve projects over there which are highly technical, or if there's a project which is directly relevant to data science, or you have done something directly with Python, at least, which is a basic programming language, or you have done anything which is near to AI, near to machine learning, something like that. You can't just start with I just learned Java and he's good at Java. That can't be your starting point of the LOR. So yes, that you need to mention this, whoever you're asking your LOR. Just give them a brief 2 paragraph that this is the course which I'm going for. This is the content which I am requesting from you, that I worked in so and so projects. And then they can decide whatever order they want to go into. And if you want, you can just review your LOR once. If there is a addition or plus minus thing which is there, you think you need to update it or something, you can always approach. uh, the person back. So yes, it's this important to.
Right. And just probably to add to that, I think that's why it's really important as to who you approach to request for your LOR, right?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. Awesome. So that makes sense. That makes quite a bit of sense. So everyone, I'm sure when you begin to the process of requesting for your LORs, and especially when you're writing your SOPs, sorry, with the hustle, the deadlines, and everything, there's bound to be some mistakes that could be made. So Vinayak, for the next question, I'd just like to ask you, what do you feel are some common mistakes that student makes, first of all, when writing their SOPs, and also when they're requesting for their LORs?
Okay, so students, usually I'll tell you about me only. What I did was initially while writing an SOP before getting interviewed, I did a lot of I wrote a lot in my SOP. Okay, I showcased a lot of skills. I was like, I have done this, I have done that. I'll show basic certificate, like I told you. I showed you. I wrote in everything, and it was 3 4 pages long, which was really long. So that is not what is recommended, and nobody wants to read your entire life and be like bored about it, that this guy or this girl is explaining me a lot, and basically they're not here to read all of your life. Okay, they just need relevant data about you, which is sufficient for them to select you or take you on board. Okay, so that is one common mistake. Basically oversharing. And then after that, you can say that you're lying on your SOP. Okay, so if you're not been a part of this project, if you're not doing that, if you're not done that project before, or somebody else might have done that project, and you are just you're just like that, uh, I've been a part of it, but you portray yourself like you have already done it. It's not a good thing to do that, because that will straight up, even if you get an admit in such schools, studying here is not easy. Okay, so there are a lot of people who write a lot in their SOPs, who portray themselves as they have done a lot of work, relevant work, but I see some people struggling here, and then it's a headache after coming to a new country. You're homesick, and you have to
Mm,
deal with all this studying, because they have taken you on the basis of your prior experience or your prior thing. This is a master's
mhm.
degree, so you need to have some pure background in it. Just your engineering degree or your BSc degree in India won't help you. You'll have to have some relevant, strong projects which you have done in the field which you are going. So if you are not confident about the field, you just want to get into a field because of the boom or because of the name, just don't write an SOP in terms of those field, because you like that field. You need to do your proper research. You need to select a very relevant field according to you, and then be as honest as possible on your SOPs. And same goes for LORs. LORs, you have to, it's more or less the honest opinion. It's given to you by your seniors or your heads. But even though when you are asking for an LOR, just mention that this is the course, and this will help them guide you properly. Yeah.
Right. Okay, thank you, Vinayak. So I think it's a given that we all want our applications to stand out. We all want to be one of the selected students. So Vinayak, what are some strategies in order to make your SOPs stand out?
Okay, so to make your SCP stand out, SOPs, sorry, stand out, uh, the main thing you do is you give a brief about how. This was I got this tip from Google only, or I searched somewhere, I don't know, but yeah. So when I was writing my SOPs, I got to know that you should give a brief about how, where was the kick for you to start. Okay, where did it hit you to do masters, or where did it hit you to do take this particular course. That particular bit is the most important thing. They'll see where your motivation is coming from. Okay, and after that motivation, after you have established that you have this particular motivation, have come this has come from this part, you will have to mention what you have done until now to support it, or towards it. Basically, if you have taken the goal in your mind, what have you done to achieve that goal, basically. So that you don't have to completely achieve the goal, but whatever one or two steps you have taken towards it, you have to mention those. So that is a very important thing, because they'll judge you on the basis of that. Second thing to mention is uh, relevant projects. See, I'm not focusing on marks, and I'm not focusing on um, the degree percentage, or your undergrad, or your 11th 12th college percentage for that matter, because this is this is the least relevant data they look for in your SOPs and LOR, because this is a pre-planned true stress session to it. You should not mention a lot of your marks, that I've done this, I've done that, my college percentage in this subject was so many, so many, so many. You should not do that at all. But yes, you have to mention the relevant project which you have done. Let's say you are for my case, I'd done a really good project in my final year of engineering. I had a thesis on it. I submitted a paper to IEEE. So I had that was a good project. Then I have 3 years of working experience, right? So in that, I mentioned 2 3 things which I did over the 3 years. Then I said that due to COVID, I was not able to come here for so long. That was a relevant point, I would say. So they should understand that why are you delayed yourself, because I if I would have thought to do masters immediately after my engineering, why did I not come for 3 years? Why was work experience more important? So you have to give an explanation for each point you're writing. So if you have to write, I've done this project here, why did you do it afterwards, and afterwards and why was that project relevant to you here? Just one liner will do, because this I think this project is relevant because this project covers the concept of this, or this project is relevant because this project has taught me or asked me to learn so and so skills, or I have picked up this particular programming hobby because I thought that this will help me grow, or give me a modular thinking, or something like that. And then you should add up a supporting sentence to it, that yes, because of this, my so and so other skill was other skill got a this was basically to bridge a gap between my thinking capabilities and my programming capabilities. So yeah, you can always you should always put a pre and a post statement in your SOP.
Right. Thank you for those amazing tips. I'm just going to turn to the audience chat for a minute because I found a question that kind of relates. Now, you did answer the second part of this question as to whom you approached for your LOR, but Piyush would like to know how you asked for your LOR. If you could just give us your experience on that.
Sorry, I didn't. Can please
Oh, so the
repeat?
question,
Yeah.
of course. So the question that we had was, how did you ask for your LOR? Like, how did you approach your referee and say, "Can you please give me an LOR?" I mean, you've told
Uh,
us who you've approached, but yeah.
Yes. So actually, I in my college, my professor, I have asked from my professor, so I had to go and meet him, because college professors are not, they don't check emails regularly, or they don't reply to you, so you have to go in person and see them. So yes, I went to him in person, and I asked. I first had to introduce myself, because it's been 2 years after this, and he was like, yeah, we remember you, you have done this project, you have so and so. You have to speak some you have to tell him that whatever the plan is, and then you kind of go with then you kind of introduce him, tell him that I have this requirement, and please, will you be able to give it to me? And has to be an official format, so you will have to ask about the official letterhead of your college and all that. So yes, be prepared that you might have to ask a lot. If the professor is busy, just don't nudge him a lot, because you might not get it. This thing has happened, but with other people, so they're not able to get it from relevant people, because they were busy. Obviously, they don't have time for all this. But you have to be very patient, and you have to be very polite while asking it, because if they are doing it for you, it's a favor on you. You have to assume that. So you have to be as polite as that while asking. And for my two other LOAs, it was my manager and my director. So my manager already knew about my plan. He had already told me that I'll give you an LOR, because he was the one who suggested me to take so and so course, because I was constantly in touch with my manager. I was nudging him that I want to do this, I want to do that. And then my entire process, he was supporting me. So yeah, that was easy to get. And then this is a very good thing that he helped me get an LOR from my director at Deloitte. So he was like, he was my director is his boss, so he had to speak to him. I was also there. I had to request him that I worked with so and so thing, and I've worked in these things, because the director doesn't keep tab on you on what thing are you working. He just knows what project are you working. So I had to give him a brief, my director, that so and so things I've worked on. Like I earlier said, that so you have to give a paragraph or two on what you have worked. So I gave him a brief, and then he constructed a very beautiful ROR point wise, and he added a few things that he thought they were in me. So yes, that was a really good thing. And in case of my manager's LOR, we sat together and we formed out a LOR, or he had already written it, but I again sat with him, and then we kind of modified it a bit. So it was a it was a very overwhelming LOR for me. But yes, again, it contained all the true elements, whatever is relevant, and nothing which is, I would say, fake or bogus. Yeah, harsh words, but yeah, don't do that. That is not recommended at all.
Oh, that was great to hear. Actually, I think one of the most important things that we can take out of what Vinayak just said was the fact that you need to go in person to ask
Yes.
for your LOR. I think it's quite important because, like he said, professors or your directors or whoever you are reporting to, they're always busy, right? So go in person, don't depend on emails, go up to them. Again, he did say don't keep nagging them or going behind them. Make sure that you go probably well in advance when you need it, and make sure you get that sorted for yourself, right?
Yes.
Right, absolutely. All right. So, Vinayak, I think the final question that I have for you from my side, I mean, you have already shared some brilliant tips that we could use, but do you have any more tips for writing an effective SOP or anything to do with LORs that you can just share with us? Anything else that you feel that we might have missed?
Okay, so I'll tell a bit about the course also. I think I missed this point. In your SOPs, while writing your SOPs, or while selecting a course, I would say this is a more broader prospect. Just look at the course website. Don't just blindly go after the term that I want to do marketing because marketing is very nice, or I want to do management. Business management or information security because this is really nice. And don't just read the course contents of the course, whatever the course website says. You have to read out through the subjects. What I did personally was I reached out to people on LinkedIn who were already studying here. I had a friend or two who were already studying in the University of Nottingham, but not in my relevant courses. So I had to reach out to people on LinkedIn, or I had to ask them that give me a contact. I want to speak to them. After getting to know them, you have to ask for subject relevant data, that what all subjects you have. Because what happens is, in a data science degree, or a computer science degree, or whatever degree you're taking, I'll take my example only. What happens is, you know that data science, okay, data science teaches us all this. Data science means I'll just do modeling, and I will do data modeling, or I'll make good models, I'll become a data scientist. It's not the case, because like I told you, I have to select three mathematics subjects. Mathematics, it's really important. So if I would not have mentioned anything about mathematics in my SOP or LOR, I would not have got the admit, because you have to put one liner that I have a hinge towards maths, or I have a hinge towards doing calculus, or I have a hinge towards doing this, or I get a nudge to do something like to solve mathematical problems in perspective of data science or something like that. It's not the exact term which I use. Yeah, you will have to use good English, good proper language skills you'll need to write. This is also very important point while writing an SOP, to use proper written English skills. And basically, you guys must have been giving your IELTS or GRE or whatever exam you are. But yes, you have to write your SOPs and get it verified, because it should not contain any mistake, and it should be proper. Yeah, so the point which I was talking about, going back to it, you have to pre-study basically the main subjects, the core subjects, or what are the modules which the course is offering. and what terms can you take those modules in. So it will be very irrelevant for you to study a particular module which is an advanced module in the spring semester, I'm sorry, in the first semester, and then going out in the spring semester and studying a module which is less credited, or which is the prerequisite for that module. So it's not good for your degree, because courses or colleges offer that you can study one module in both the semesters, but you should always be able to pick it. And that's why uh, going through the course website, going through the course modules, reading each and every line what all chapters have been taught in that module is very important, so that you can structure your SOP. Again, it's not good if you write everything about your modules only. So let's say if you're having big data or something like that, you'll write that I worked in big data and I've done this chapter wise. You just have to mention a line or two about the uh, broader perspective of the module which you are taking. So yes, proper research is important here, I would say, not only module selection.
Mm.
You can write a few things about university, you can see internship options there, you can see other things which are which you think are relevant, which will help you boost your career ahead. So yes, there are a lot of things, university events, there are a lot of career fairs happening. You can write about that. You can write about what this university has to offer in terms of placements, or what this university has to offer in terms of labs which are there. What sort of infrastructure are you going to use? So you can comment on that you have stupendous infrastructure and all that. Yes, all these things are relevant.
Okay, perfect. So, Vinayak, I'm just going to turn over to the audience chat as we have quite a few questions that have come in. Quite excited to answer these questions, and I'm sure you are too. So, we have a question here that is, how many LORs should I get and be ready with?
To be on the safer side, you should be ready with three. If you are a working professional, please get two from your office or where you're working in, and one from the degree or education which you have done before. You have to get it from that particular person, and two from this. If you are just graduated or you have just completed your undergraduate degree, basically you have to get two LORs, two all the three basically from the university which you have graduated from, or you have just started working, or if you have just 1 year of experience or 6 months, then you can get one from your company as well. Yes. So keep three ready at least. Some companies, or some colleges ask you to submit two, and when you're asked to submit two, don't always submit both of them from the same domain. Let's say if you're getting three LORs, two are from your office and one is from the professor. You should always submit diversity, because obviously two from your workplace will have similar content, but one from your professor and one from your company will have different contents, and it will give you an edge over, or it will show you how diverse you are, or how varied your domains are basically. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. Our next question is from Hannah, and she's asking, I will be completing my grad this year, so is it too late to start an SOP?
No, it's not too late to start an SOP. You can always work on your SOP within. You can make your first draft within 4 days, 5 days. I would suggest first draft. You'll have to go through six drafts. I went through six, seven odd drafts. Seven was my final one. So yeah, it's not it's not necessary that you complete. You have to do seven drafts. But yes, again, from the counseling which I had from the people who helped me to draft this, I kept on uh, I kept on going to them. I kept on asking them again and again. They're very helpful. So yeah, the SOP comes out to be nice only after you feel. See, there's no perfect SOP, or nobody can term that this is the letter which I used to get into Oxford or Harvard or something like that. But yes, that you should be confident that this is you and this is your true life towards it. So it will not take you a lot of time. Just take 4 5 days to structure it, and basically write everything which whatever you can. And then for the next week, if you are taking some counseling or something like that, just ask them to review your SOP, and then you can cut short on some points, or they'll also ask you to add some relevant points. And then this can go up to 3 weeks, I would suggest, depending on the availability and your determination towards it. So if you're just completing your degree, there is no harm. You can still write your SOP. But again, you can't. It will be. I would say it's 26th of Feb, right? So it will be. Bad applying right now to, or coming into a September intake. You can obviously aim for the January intake.
Perfect. Thank you. Um, Now, Sejal would like to know what are the challenges, or yeah, what are all the challenges you faced while getting your LOR? I think
Okay,
that's
so
a good
challenges I
choice.
faced was what content should I give my director to write. So he blindly asked me, give me something which I will write about you, or some relevant project relevant data. So that was pretty tricky because I had to give them a few points, and I was not aware that how he'll write. What he is capable of writing. I thought that whatever I give, he'll just write something around it, or I that was a main challenge because you think a lot at that time. You don't know what will be what the other person thinks of you. Basically, yeah, you can't get into that mindset, obviously. And the second thing, that to giving a writing text or giving a brief about yourself, you have to be very concise, you have to be very relevant, you have to think about if this point is relevant to my degree which I'll be doing. Okay, that is the most important thing. Then you have to structure it or write it in a periodic fashion, that first I've done this, then second I've done this, or third I've done this, or I built up to doing this project. So for me, my manager or director, whoever trained me through the process, you have to give them an idea, basic idea about what the LOR should look like, because they have not written a lot of LORs. They don't usually do this. So yes, you have to explain to them what exactly are your needs. Second, the challenge which I faced was from my professor, which I told you, that you have to go there, approach them in person, and be very polite, and ask them for so and so. And again, there also you have to give them some content to your professors. For me, that case was there for me. I don't know about everybody. Yes, some professors might give it on their own, that if you are done a project or anything under him directly, and you're just graduating from the university, the professor knows you very well. He might not have forgotten you. So yes, you can, if you're still working with him, it will be easier for you. But if you are going after some time, please make him aware that who you are, where you're working right now, and why do you want to do this, and also give them content. That content is also really important.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much for that advice. Now, I think this next question is a little bit important as well from BuzzFeed, and that is, are there any trusted websites where I can get my SOP rated?
I have not used any websites, to be frank. I just did one-to-one peer reviews. I did it from my counselors. So yes, for websites, I would suggest don't go to a website or something, because half of the times these are AI tools. You can obviously get your SOP done from ChatGPT. Yeah, you should not. This I missed this, but there are a lot of things which people are doing right now. Okay, so I get a lot of calls from India. Some people are approaching me on LinkedIn, or my friends or my juniors, whoever want to come here. They're like, I'm getting my CV, SOP or LOR done from ChatGPT. But over here in our university, even if you're doing assignments from ChatGPT, we have AI detectors. Okay, so even if they think that you have written, you think that this is a very unique thing which is come to you only, we have AI detectors in it, because the language, the text generated has come from some article which is online, or has come from somewhere which is online, and yes, that will come into plagiarism checks or something like that. So you should always avoid that, avoid doing it. Yeah, sorry, I off tracked from the question a bit, but this was really important. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. No, I think that point is very, very relevant, especially because of the boom of ChatGPT that's come out, and also other AI generated websites where students feel like, yes, it's easier. I might not have the time to write my SOP, or I'm just very nervous and I don't know what to say. My language might not be so good. So they turn to these websites. So I'm very glad you gave us that advice as to just make it your own. And I think that's what makes an SOP also stand out, when you put your personal experiences, you are writing it, it's coming from your heart, basically, we can say, right? And that's the
Exactly.
important. So yeah, so guys, do avoid these AI generated websites and make sure that, yes, do your research online, but again, make sure the wording and everything is yours. Thank you for presenting that very important point, Vinayak.
Yes.
All
One
right,
more
I
thing I
think.
would like to add here is, if there are some smart people, okay, they think that I'll take something from Chat GPT and then I'll paraphrase it. Please avoid that also, also, because we have tried and tested it and it does not help you at all, because that's not your true thing, or to it's not good or ethical to lie basically on your SOP, and it should be your own personal, like Sarah said, it should be your personal thing. It should not be something which has come out from an AI bot. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for presenting that point. I think we're just on to the final question for today. Now, it doesn't really have anything to do with SOPs or LORs, but I think everybody is curious because at the beginning you did mention, obviously, when you're staying abroad, there's some good points and there's some not so good times that you have. So, Basvi also just would like to know, how did you overcome your homesickness?
Basically making friends here. So I have a lot of friends here. We hang out. We used to cook dinner together. We used to cook one meal at least a day. We used to cook together. I stay in a student hall, so I tell others also, whoever is coming here, it, they are a bit costly, but I would say, if you have not been outside your home a lot of time, or if you have just stayed in your home and you're going out for the first time and to a foreign country, I would strongly suggest, please take a student hall or a student living accommodation where you'll see people around. Don't just get a flat or a house or something rented which is in a secluded area. You'll not have people around, or you'll have foreigners around, or you'll have local people around who basically, I'll tell you, language understanding is also a problem. Sometimes when you initially come here, you don't understand the language for the first month at all. So British English is quite different, US English is quite different. No watching of Netflix, whatever series you are, is going to help you to understand this, because here also English changes with regions. So yeah, that is there. So please stay in a student hall where you have a lot of people. You'll make friends, obviously close friends. If you are getting an admit, you'll obviously know a few people before going. For us, University of Nottingham made us WhatsApp groups and all, in which we used to talk about course and relevant work. So that came in immediately after my admit came. So yeah, we got in touch with a lot of people. We planned a few things, who's going to stay in student halls. Also, there were individual groups for student halls, that who all are going to stay in these particular student halls, and according to your budget or availability of the students hall, you have to finalize them before March, April. I would say April. I did it in May, but yeah, do it by April, because you will get good rooms at good prices also. And doing that you will have company with you, which will help you survive. Okay, you can't survive alone, you can't stay alone here. Even if you are an introvert, you don't go good with people, you'll obviously need some presence around, because your rooms are individual rooms. There's no student halls or shared rooms. I have not seen that culture yet. But for that, you will have to be prepared, because you're missing home. The timing is different. You don't know when to call. So like right now, I woke up an hour, 1.5 hour before, and it's already afternoon in India. So yes, you should plan activities with your friends. That is the most important part.
Right. Thank you so much, Vinayak. All right, everyone. Thank you for all your questions. We've come to the end of this session and also the final session of the summit. Vinayak, I just want to take this time to thank you so much for joining us, for sharing your insights, for sharing your honest experiences, and some excellent advice. I hope you enjoyed being here today for this session.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, students,
No
I just want
problem.
to
Thank
give
you
you
for
this.
having me here. Yeah.
It was great to have you, students. I just want to tell you to please grab and take this opportunity to connect with Vinayak on Nebula. His profile link has been given in the audience chat. He also has a number of personal guidance sessions that he has listed on the platform. So please do have a look at that and get in touch with him. And feel free to ask him any questions you have. All right. Okay. Um, Thank you also participants for joining us today. Please do stick around for the closing session, which will begin at 4. Again, the link is in the audience chat. All right. And I just want to say thank you, Vinayak, again, and all the best, everyone, on your application journey.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day,
Thanks a lot.
Vinayak.
All the best,
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody. Thank you.